When I first got into this, probably about 40 years ago, we were down in a hardware shop in Exeter, and the guy was there turning on a pretty basic lathe, and he turned a wooden egg, and I was amazed watching all these shavings coming off and polishing it and everything. And I then bought myself my first lathe, and it's progressed from there. Now I don't work every day. It's a thing I do evenings and weekends, and I just like to use native woods wherever I can, and I get great pleasure in it, getting the shavings coming off, the smell of the wood, all that kind of stuff. And to get to produce a finished bowl at the end of the day is really satisfying. Well, I would say almost exclusively it's native English hardwoods. For example, this is laburnum. This is a piece of sycamore, bur, elm. A bur is not specific to the elm. It's a characteristics that some other trees have when you get this sort of knotty lump sticks out of the trunk, and you get these fantastic markings, which are buds that have become dormant. This is bog oak. This is a piece of oak that came out of the moors near Ashcott, and it's been preserved almost. It's the sort of early stages, I suppose, of turning into coal. This is cherry, English cherry, and the black on here is just an acrylic paint that I applied. Really nice wood to turn, very forgiving. Right, yeah, this is a departure from turning. Obviously there's nothing round inside here. I can't think where I got the idea from, but these are basically sections of aluminium box that I cut into chunks. I put on the little base there, and then made just tops from a square piece of wood. This is a piece of the bog oak again. I think this is cherry. And they're just fun little storage containers. Yeah, sure. The bowl here, this little sycamore bowl, when I was turning the outside, I cut a groove with a tool, and what I then put in here, the blue, is just wood filler with acrylic paint. I mixed it up and put it into the groove that I'd cut, waited for it to dry, which was about an hour or so, and then I could sand it off and finish it in the same way as everything else. It just adds a little bit of decoration, a bit of interest. With this one here, this is, I think it's sycamore, I'm not quite sure now, it may be a piece of maple, but this is a pale coloured wood, obviously. The outside is just an acrylic paint that I brushed on. I haven't got any fancy tools, but this time I've made a little incision after the painting has been done. So whereas the previous one, the blue was applied after I'd turned it, the shape here is after the colour. And the top here is just carved. I used a little Dremel tool and just cut a series of little notches and things all the way around, just to try and add some interest. This is just simple planks of wood that I cut up into small sections. It's when you get an odd short length of wood, you're never quite sure what to do, so I'm just trying to optimize the resources and not waste not have any waste. This is a lovely piece of plum. These are sycamore. Again, it's all native English woods. Beech. Some of this is what they call spalted. I don't think there's any on that particular one, though. I have got some others which are where you get these fantastic black markings coming through the wood. Ash, English ash. Yeah, this is just a simple turning exercise. It's just that these make quite nice gifts for people. And again, it's using up the smaller offcuts of wood that you maybe couldn't turn into a big bowl. And it's nice to get these. Normally I would like to have wood finished with an oiled finish that is sort of maybe a satin or matte finish. I don't like highly glossy woods, but with these apples I think they look more attractive when they are polished up a little bit, so I tend to do that with the apples. But again, you've got interesting bits of figuring that happens with the wood here that's very attractive. Bits of walnut. It's got a few old wormholes in it. Again, it looks like an old apple that's perhaps past its time. That's another piece of walnut. Well, this is really very much the same as the ordinary turning of a bowl. You've got a base there, so I've turned the outside and made a foot that I can hold in a chuck. And whereas with a bowl you've obviously got a wide opening and you just take a chisel in and follow the shape you get. With this I use a special hooked tool, and you can put it in there, and it's got a cutter on the end of it, like a little carbide cutter. And it's just a question of being very careful and stopping, clearing out the shavings and checking what the thickness of the walls are. It's very easy to go out through the side if you're not careful. I give myself a bit of a challenge with this one, that it's got quite a small opening. So it would be easier if I made something a little bit bigger, or maybe a rounder shape is a bit easier to actually manage. But I just had this piece of sycamore that was, again, an interesting colour with the way the figuring has developed on it. Yes, I do accept commissions. What I often do, if I get a log from someone who's had a tree cut down, I will always give them something back that's turned from their log, and I think people appreciate that. But I have been asked to make stuff as wedding gifts, platters and things like that. It's what's been chosen a couple of times, or a big bowl or something like that. I've also done other bits of furniture making separate from my wood turning. I've made a desk for someone, and got a commission actually to do a stool now for a guitarist that wanted a special stool that would suit him. So that's something exciting to look forward to. Here in the gallery, probably a couple of times a week. Our gallery in the Orchard Centre is open every day. There's all my contact details there if you want to get hold of me, email, mobile number. I don't have a website, I'm afraid. I'm not really into that kind of stuff, but do contact me, I will reply, and we can sort something out if you want a specific project in mind.